Hello and welcome to dBASE Plus 9. I can't tell you how excited that I am to talk to you about the new editor inside of dBASE Plus 9. This has been a monumental task by the R&D team to bring the editor up to the current standards, and we've actually replaced the underlying editor with a brand new editor that has a ton of capabilities. We have 35% more keyboard shortcuts to make your job easier, quicker, and faster. We've added code completion, which is called dcomplete. We've added code snippets, which is called dblocks. We've added a lot of functionality, and I'd like to give you a quick overview of just some of the customizations that you can do now with inside of the editor. The first things I want to talk about are on the view menu. I want to go ahead and turn on a couple of things. I like line numbers. I'm pretty particular to that. I really enjoy having line numbers in my code so I can see exactly where I'm at. We used to have that down on the status bar, and it's still there, but I am more prevalent to have it over on the left-hand side of the margin. The other editor I want to go is with white space, and what this does is this puts a little black dot on every spot that I've put a space so that I can see exactly where the spaces are. On the view menu, there's also an end of line, but after seeing those for a long time, you get a little tired. You might need to use that from time to time, but usually I would imagine that's going to stay off in most cases. And then finally, I like my indentation guides. And what this does is kind of show me a nice light gray line where the things are moved over a little bit and have the area to set it up with that. So that gives me a little bit of better understanding of what's going on. Now, as I said, we had a way inside of this new editor that we can set a lot of different characteristics and a lot of different customizations. We also include a brand new feature called DBabel, which allows us to look at and manipulate code such as C++, HTML, JavaScript, PHP, SQL, XML, and others. And we also include a bunch of other ones. Now, we don't give you the ability to really modify inside of dBASE those property files, but you can modify them outside of dBASE and set them up however you like, and you get a better understanding, and we have more information on that in the help file. But what I wanted to really kind of highlight on, or really kind of focus in on, is what you can do with the editor and how you can customize it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and right mouse click and go into the source code editor properties. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is that we have a bunch of new properties up here that you can turn on and turn off to your heart's content and really get it to look and act the way you like to. These include such things as autocomplete, code hints, smart indent, all those types of things, and you can turn those on and turn those off throughout the code. Another thing that you can do while you're in here is that you can go into the display and you can change the font. Now, I would recommend that there are other fonts better than Courier New that we ship with that may be easier on your eyes and easier to read long term. My personal preference that's been part of the Microsoft font list for a long time is something called Segu UI, and I would recommend going down, and I'd also recommend going up a little bit in the size so that it gives you a little bit, gives your eyes a little less strain. And as you can see, when I turn that on, my line numbers change, all of my sizes change accordingly, and the dots become easier. Now notice, here's that code folding again. We can go in there and compress or expand however we need to get the code to be as easily to read as possible. The last thing I want to talk about is actually the color customization. There's a lot of color customization that you can do to make it easier. A lot of the code that I've written over the years and a lot of the code that's been written over the years, a lot of the developers use various backgrounds to reduce eye strain because they're staring at the screen so long. One of them that we found to be really, really helpful is a black background with light colors on it. Another one is a dark blue background. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to set the dark blue background really quickly using the interface that we've provided to set up the source code editor properties. So for my default, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my right mouse button, and that's going to set my background color, and I'm going to set my foreground color to yellow. I'm then going to go into my identifier, and I'm going to set its background color to that dark blue again, and then I'm going to set its foreground color to yellow. The reserved words, I'm going to do the background color again, and this time I'm going to pick white. Now notice how it changed down here from yellow to white. I'm then going to go into the preprocessor, and I'm going to change that from dark blue, and I'm going to go to the light green. Notice how that changed up here to just a little brighter green. The comment, I'm going to go with the background of dark blue, and I'm going to go with the foreground of gray so that it gives me a little bit better contrast in the side. With the string, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to set the background as yellow and my foreground as black. And so that way I can actually see the screens. Now, this is going to have more ramifications than just that. I'm going to set my background here. I'm going to slide this down a little bit so I can see what it looks like. And I'm going to set the background to blue. And I'm going to set my color to light blue. And I'm going to do that exact same thing for my integers, just so I can see it a little bit better. The last thing I'm going to do is set my error code. So right here's my error code. I'm going to set the foreground color to be black, and I'm going to set the background color to be red so it highlights it out for me. When I'm done with that, I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the OK button again. Now, as you can just see right there, we have the code hints popping up telling us exactly what's going on with inside of this. But as you can see, we can now we can get pretty expressive with the different customizations inside of here. And like I said, you can pick any font that you so desire. So I may pick Sagoo UI, but if you wanted to, you could come into here and pick Snap ITC, whatever that is, but as you can see, it changes it and it makes it really hard to read. So I don't think I'd recommend that one, but I definitely, day in and day out work, I definitely like the Sagoo. It's very easy to read. It's very easy on the eyes. I'm also one of those people that like a dark background so that and have color contrast, color highlighting for my lines of code to make it easier to read also. It doesn't seem to strain my eyes as bad. I hope this gives you a good idea of some of the customizations that you can do with inside of dBASE plus 9, and I hope you're going to purchase it and enjoy it and love it like we do. Thanks a lot for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.